Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Joffrey Noodle Legs here and welcome to another late night horror show. So tonight I'll just be going through a couple of things with you. I've got a little unboxing to do and just a little update on my horror display cabinet. And I also want to have a little chat about slasher movies, the rise and fall and rise of slasher movies, in my opinion. There's not a lot of news to tell you this month. Obviously, we got the Evil Dead Rise out in the cinema now. Not seen it yet. I believe the lad's going to see it this week. We did go to see Scream 6 at the cinema, and we absolutely loved it, both of us. Really cool return to form kind of slasher movie. Really good. Absolutely enjoyed it. Obviously, we're still planning on attending HorrorCon in May. So if any of you are going to that, always come and say hi. I'll be about if you want to say hello. So that's cool. Yeah. So this week I got a little unboxing from HMV. And I also sort of wanted to give you a little update on my display cabinet. So let's have a look at that now then, shall we? Hello guys, just giving you a little update on my horror display cabinet. Starts off on the top here with a couple of really cool masks. Trick or treat mask there. We've got Michael Myers, and also we've got our Terrifier, Clown Art the Clown, and behind them in his box we've got Chucky. They're too big to fit inside the display cabinet. On the first sort of level we have, let me see if it works any better with that on. We've got a couple of cool soundtracks. We've got a troll that's come all the way from Norway, that my sister got when she went on holiday. So that's really cool. We've got our Michael Myers bobblehead with the Jaws soundtrack behind it. And behind there is the Hammer collection with The Witch, Texas Chainsaw Massacre collector editions, collector edition at the back there of Dawn of the Dead, my Halloween box set. So that's what I've got on the first sort of level. Coming down one, I've got my Crystal Lake Chronicles, which is a Friday the 13th book, with the Friday the 13th box set. Another soundtrack for Let the Right One In. And then we've got my Blind Dead box set. And behind that is my Jason Voorhees figure. So that's that shelf. We'll go down another shelf. I've got my Boglin behind my Martin Collector's Edition. There's my Boglin, original 1980s one. Hellraiser soundtrack. And my German silent movie. Das Cabinet there behind that. And in the bottom shelf is my Alien shelf. Hasn't really changed. Just got the Alien box set in there, the Alien book, soundtrack, a couple of figurines and a poster. I do have obviously the movie on 4K and stuff, but I watched that quite a lot, so I don't put it in here. So that's just a little update on how the actual cabinet sort of looking like. Cheers. So there's been an Arrow sale over the past month, the Arrow Easter sale. I picked up a few bits in Stevenage, a couple of bits, but they've got a lot of their movies that are about 15-16 quid for about 8 quid, and some of the movies that are like 17.99, 18.99 have been about between 9.99 and 11.99. So they've had a few cool films, or films that I've been wanting to pick up. What did I pick up? Let's have a quick look. I picked up The Initiation, I picked up, what else did I buy? Oh, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I picked up that one. Yes, I picked up a couple. And there were a few more that I wanted. And I know that the sale was coming to an end. So I just picked up a few more from HMV online. Because I don't have a HMV nearby, I can't really get to it. So I just do it online. So I picked up a few more, which should be in here. And they've arrived today. Well, what can I say? Two of them have. One of them hasn't. Okay. So, oh well, that's a little bit disappointing. I did order 3, but only 2 have turned up. I ordered The Deeper You Dig, and that didn't show up. So that must be out of stock. But that's okay. So I've ordered 2 more movies that I've been wanting. One I've already got on a normal video, I mean Blu-ray, but it's one of my favourite films of all time, and it's had like a little bit of an upgrade from Arrow, and it's Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence, with Rishi Sakamoto and David Bowie and Tom Conti. A great film, really cool film, based in prisoner of war camp in Japan in the Second World War. This could well be a review from my channel. We'll have a look at that maybe, because I'm thinking of doing an Arrow video part 2 week, because I had ordered 3 movies, but only 2 have turned up. I can still do it. I can just drag one of my other movies out. And the other one I ordered was a Rob Grant film called Harpoon. This is another one I've been looking at getting for quite a while. Not going to go too much into it, but as you can see, it's based on a boat out in the middle of the sea. I won't go too much into it, because if I do review it, I want to keep the synopsis for that. So I picked those 2 movies up this week, but also got with the parcel, because it was on offer for £4.99 if you buy anything HMV. This was on offer for £4.99, and it's the Ti West film X. So I picked that up as well in this parcel. And like I said, there should have been another film called The Deeper You Dig. So that must have been out of stock. I'll have to check up on that, because they might have charged me for it and not sent it. So I'll check up on that after I've made this little video. This is going to be a part of my late night horror show for this month. So that's my pickups from the Arrow sale. So there we go, we've got some cool Arrow films, and The Deeper You Dig is came on a different delivery, just a different day. I think it's come from a different warehouse. They probably, or from one of their stores maybe. Maybe they're sort of sold out of stock from the warehouse, but had a copy left in the store, so that's really cool. And like at the beginning of the video, I said to you that we went to see Scream 6. And that's what I wanted to sort of like talk to you about slasher movies. Now, I think the slasher movies were in its absolute heyday in the 1980s. Obviously, we had earlier ones in the 1970s. We had obviously A Bay of Blood, and obviously Halloween, and all these kind of slasher movies, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which were a mixture of sort of exploitation and sort of slasher movies. And then in the 1980s, we kind of hit the heyday of the slasher movie with your Friday the 13th, you know, The Burning, and all these amazing, wonderful, wonderful films. Some of them stayed dear to my heart, and new ones I'm discovering all the time from the 80s, like Hell High, The Initiation, which is a corking little film. I think there's a review of it coming up on my channel. I gave it quite a low score, but I have watched it since again, and I've lifted it up a bit now, because I think I gave it a 7 out of 10, but it's definitely more of an 8 out of 10 movie. It's really, really cool. But slasher movies have been like the staple of the horror genre, and in the 80s they were really, really unique. You know, a lot of them were very samey, but they were all still quite unique in their own sort of way. And I absolutely fell in love with the genre, and especially Friday the 13th. I mean, I love my Halloweens, but Friday the 13th was dearer to my heart for some bizarre reason. I don't know why. It's just something that was more predictable, if you like. They're very predictable, but it was very, very, very cool. And in the 1990s came, and we got like a horde of amazing slashers. Just because when the 80s, sort of like around about sort of like 87, 88, 89, the slashers seemed to have started to wade away a little bit and not being so prolific in the horror sort of genre. In fact, the whole horror sort of scene sort of died in the 80s a little bit, at the end of the 80s. But especially the slasher. But then in the 90s, it made a little comeback, didn't it? With our Scream, and I Know What You Did Last Summer, and Valentine, and the remake of there were some remakes going on. And we had Urban Legends. So we had a little reboot, and there were some really bizarre ones out there called like Steel and Lace, which was a really strange one, if I remember right. It was almost like a sort of Terminator sort of slasher. I remember seeing that, and that was a strange one. And so we had a little bit of a hike of some really good slashers coming out. Cherry Red I really liked. Ginger Snaps, which was a bit of a sort of werewolf sort of slasher film. There were some really cool slasher films in the 90s, and then again it sort of faded away. And the reason why I think it faded away in sort of like the 2000s and that, because we were then inundated with slasher remakes. My Bloody Valentine, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you know, all these sort of old 70s and 80s slasher movies were all being remade, and that's when it declined, in my opinion, because telling old stories again is nothing new. So it sort of declines. It's good for the new generation coming through, that maybe have not seen the original films or find them really cheesy. But so sorry, it is late, Doc. It is late, guys. But it kind of, for us, the fans, it was like, we've seen it. Don't need to see it again. And it's nowhere near as good as that original one. Very few of them were really any good. I mean, the Hills of Eyes ones were quite good, but the rest of them, no, they just wasn't there. And I think that's what killed off the slasher genre. But over the last 2 or 3 years, I think it's on a comeback. We've had some amazing slasher films come out, with obviously the sort of boot of the Scream series with the last two, which we really, really enjoyed. They were such good films. And then we had Art the Clown. We've had Terrifier come out, and he's been absolutely a new sort of iconic slasher movie kind of icon that has sort of come to that has also brought new life into the genre. And now with the added gore, it seems like it's on its way up again. Let's hope so, because I love the genre, and I will eventually run out of buying the old slashers, because, you know, there are still a few out there I really want to get. I mean, I'm really interested in one called The Prey, The Chill Factor. There's a few slashers out there that I'm really interested in picking up. I still haven't picked up a copy of the original My Bloody Valentine on Blu-ray. Have I picked it up? I can't remember. Do you know what? I think I have. Did I do a review? I may be losing it. But there's some old ones that I'm still after. but I'm really hoping that it's on the rise again. Like I said, in the 80s and 90s, it was in its prime, and we had a really original sort of like slashers, and then it sort of died down in the 2000s with the remakes. We were absolutely inundated with them. You know, a couple of standouts in there, like The House of Wax was quite good. I quite enjoyed the remake of that. I thought that was really good. But a lot of the other slashers were really poor, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre and all these remakes. I'm just thinking, why? Why not come up with an original story? I mean, they even remade Maniac, and they remade, is it Fright Night and stuff. And I'm just thinking, there's no need to. These films are original and amazing as they are. We don't need the remakes. And I think that got triggered of the popularity of J-horror. I think J-horror became really popular in the sort of 90s and onwards, and then the Americans started to make remakes of them because I think the American audience are not keen on subtitle movies. So I think that sort of kicked that into they thinking, you know what, we could remake this. They even remade Friday the 13th, didn't they? And stuff like that. I'm just thinking, no need to. The originals are amazing and classics. Don't need it, really don't. I'd rather them do something original, like with the Scream series. They haven't remade it. They've just continued the story. Evil Dead Rises. It's a different storyline from the Evil Dead. That's better. You know, that's a lot better. Hellraiser, the Hellraiser reboot. It's just a different angle of that same sort of film, but it's completely different. That's perfect. But yeah, it's really good to see that slashers are back on, looks like popularity again, you know. And I'm really, really hoping we're going to get a load more. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching this this month's late night horror show. I'm sorry I'm a bit tired tonight, but it's been a busy old week. I've been to see the lad, been back to work, time off, and trying to catch up some movies, and I keep playing that bloody bus simulator. Oh, and it just keeps me awake because I thought I'll get to there. I'm going to do one more trip. I just addicted to it. I just love the game. So so now I'm really feeling it. So hopefully next time I won't be so tired. Coming up on my channel, we've got I want to be doing a true story week, which not necessarily horror, but to review some films that are based on true stories. I want to be doing my Indicator Film Week, which I picked up those 3 movies. I also want to be doing the Arrow Video Part 2 week, because I picked up those movies. And then I want to go back into some more sort of up-to-date horrors that I want to sort of look at, like X and things like that I haven't got around to looking at or reviewing. And I want to be doing that over the next few weeks. Next week's late night show, I believe, is the review of The Initiation. Like I said, I gave it a 7 out of 10 on that review. Bit of a spoiler here, but I've rewatched it since, and now I'm give it an 8+ out of 10. It's really, really, really good. On the first viewing, I said it was great, but it's really good. It's really cool. So until my next video, guys, check out some horror channels for me. Check out Horror Hands, Horror Geek, The Man v Film, RS Designs, Pizzawell, I Am the Ice Lord, Sarah Watches Horror, Cat Watches Horror Movies, Grumpy Andrew's Haunted House. All fantastic channels, really, really cool. Until next time, look after yourselves, don't have nightmares, and I hope to see you all soon.